Chapter 30. Hunting the Hunters. I had wanted to go alone, but they had managed to convince me otherwise. I don't know if it was my fear of those mercenaries tracking me to the bunker and attacking them while I was away, or if it was simply the fact that I was getting used to not being alone. And then there was poor Nate, who in his condition could barely hold a tool, yet alone a weapon. It would have been the most dangerous for him, but something tells me he would have been the one hurt the most if I'd left them behind.
Bunny face hard.
Hard? Oh, you mean my expression? I was just thinking, and sometimes thinking is more dangerous than acting. And you don't have to call me Bunny every time either. You can just call me Olivia.
Bunny nice. Bunny now. Olive.
No, Olivia.
Olivia.
Yes, I'm Olivia. What about the others?
Other bunny.
Other Bunny? I'm older than her. At least, I think I'm older. Marky, am I older than her? No, but you're prettier? Holly punched him. That wasn't the question I asked you, buttbrush. No, sorry. Just a little distracted is all.
Mark. Sad. Hurt. Cub.
Wait, you call him Mark, and yet I'm the other bunny? No, Drake, that's not it. That single-eared doof has nearly blown himself up countless times, but I've always managed to patch him up. It's these mercenaries. I've heard stories about them. And even with Olivia's insanities, Nate's ingenuity, Holly's weapons, and Drake's... well, Drake, I'm not sure we can take them head-on. Insanity? I'm not insane. Am I? Well, I won't lie, I don't think it'll be easy. I will let you on a little secret, though. Back with that boar, I was positive we were going to die. If you were so certain you were going to die, why'd you bother at all? You could have just turned back any time. Yet, despite your assuredness of death, why would you still try and save us? Especially since we were just strangers to you and Hope. Well, Holly, the thing is, despite what I thought, and despite all the odds stacked against me, there's no certainty unless you try. If we're all doomed by the fates to die, then I wanted to die doing something to help. Not just sitting back and watching. I know that I'm gonna die someday. But fate be damned. I'll make it difficult as fuck for them to take me out. If only more mammals had your drive and focus, then the world truly would be a better place. Yeah, but then I'd be out of a job.
Drake. Smell. Drake. Hide.
He pointed out towards the distance. Oh, looks like we've arrived. And yeah, I doubt things would go over too well if we wandered into a trader's camp with a Deathwing. I forgot. I made something for you, Drake, but before my accident. Didn't have the chance to give it to you, but... Nate tried to open his backpack, but dropped it, probably due to all the burns on his paws. Could someone help me out? Oh, I got it, sweet. It almost slipped out. But why was I about to... Oh, they're all staring. Fuck. I got it. No sweat. Here you go. I tried to cover myself as I picked up his bag and unlatched it. I was still confused as about what I was feeling. What'd you make, Nate? This. I pulled out a large black jacket. I couldn't tell the material, but it looked like it was made from a very heavy fabric. But I was surprised at how light it actually was. It's microwave. It won't stop a bullet like ballistic weave, but it's super light. Figured that Drake could use it to blend in better. Your head is very, wolfish, so I just made a tall neck. Maybe people will just think you're a very tall wolf. Wasn't sure about the arms, though, with your wings, so I made the sleeves with a quick-release fastener. So if you need to fly, you can do so without taking it off. But it might be a little cumbersome. I was impressed. I could make my way through a code or a building full of robot scrap, but making clothing? I had never thought about it. That was really nice of you, Nate. When did you find the time to do this? Well, I couldn't sleep. You were drunk, and some mammals have an adverse reaction to it. I wanted to make sure you were okay. And then I was worried, and then I forgot all about it. That was sweet of you. For Drake and for me. I handed the coat to Drake. Here, try it on. The poor lumbering creature had no idea what he was doing. Between his wings and his large clawed fingers, he was unable to put it on right. I helped him the best I could. He was almost twice my height, so it was rather difficult. It was a good idea to make the arms partially detachable, as it helped me pull his wings through. While he didn't look like any mammal I had ever seen, when he was finally dressed in his new outfit, he didn't look like a deathwing. At least until you looked at his paws and feet. Giant clawed fingers were obviously out of place. His feet also looked more like a pair of very sharp skates rather than toes. But as long as we passed first impressions, we should be fine. How does it feel?
Drake. Weird. Thing. No comfort.
Sorry, Drake, but you'll have to do for now if you want to stick with us. I have a feeling that a giant deathwing approaching anyone would trigger a shoot first, ask questions later scenario.
Drake, where? Olivia, like. Drake, thank, come, make.
Why does he keep calling me Cub? I'm an adult.
Cub, soft, hard. Cub, smart. Cub, foolish. Cub, like child.
I am not a child. Then stop acting like one, bro.
Olivia, like cub. Drake, like cub.
Even he can tell? Fuck me. At least he's not teasing me. Better not leave him alone with Holly anytime soon. Okay, all of this aside, we really need to get going before they leave. The trader camp was just over a large dune. Once we got to the top, it was easy to see them clearly. They had made their camp in a large flat area. Unlike the area near the wall, where it was mostly sand and rocks, this area looked much more like part of a city. There were small buildings, but unlike the buildings in Savannah Central. Those were mostly brick, steel, and glass. But these looked as if they were carved out of stone or sculpted from clay. Every building around us had an earthy tone to it. A very long one-story building created a shadow that fell upon the camp. I had realized it had just gotten hotter as the day progressed, but my mind had been focused too much on other things to notice. They must be using that building's shade to keep cool. One of them must have noticed us, because he stood up with a gun pointed right at us. Olivia, you should put your paws in the air. I should have mentioned this, but when you visit a trader camp, you need to show that you're friendly. This is usually the way we do it. No matter how gruff or rude they seem, don't show any aggression. They usually have 1 or 2 guards with sniper rifles hidden away. As long as we don't show any aggression, this will go smooth. Is the world so fucked up that no one trusts anyone? I pulled my coat closed to make sure my gun was hidden and put my paws in the air. It was then that I noticed that the others had already done so. I think I need a Wastelander's Guide to Etiquette or something. The guns were still trained on us, but they seemed more relaxed. Wait a second. Where's Drake? Even though he had his disguise, I suggested that he stay back. Too many traders come through here to get to know them all, and you can never be too careful. Oh, that's a good idea, Mark. I casually glanced behind me to see if I could spot Drake, but I was unable to see him. I was also unable to see... Onion's missing too. Oh, he volunteered to stay with Drake. Nate seemed to put a little too much emphasis on that word. What do you mean he volunteered? I suggested he stay back, just in case. He gave me his tag and communications link. If anything were to happen, he and Drake would be our backup. That's a smart idea. Looks like you guys planned this out already. They didn't know it, but I had a plan as well. I didn't want to tell it to them. Not just because I hoped not to use it, but they would have thought it would be insane, dangerous, or even try talking me out of it. I had an ace up my sleeve. Otherwise, I may not get the information I need. If North truly does know everyone, then he must be able to point me in the right direction. And if I felt like he was hiding anything, well then, the aces are wild. We approached the camp slowly. 2 foxes and 2 rabbits probably didn't look too much of a concern, because once we got close enough they lowered their weapons. One of them, a ewe that, if not for her bulky armor, would have looked very petite, came up to us and started speaking very informally. Here to trade? Show us the goods. Here to buy? Show us caps. Here to steal? My boys will show me your blood. What'll it be? We're actually looking for someone. Now you see here, girl. We don't deal with those slaving asshats. If you want to buy a slave, you gotta look elsewhere. What? Oh, no, nothing like that. We're just looking for someone. A ghoul named North. Oh, that fucker? Yeah, he was here. Till we kicked him out. That fucker does the same thing to all of us honest traders. He slinks his way into our vans, travels up the hot spots, and then does whatever he can to deal us out of a situation. Between you and me, I don't hate them living ghouls. But that Northwest fucker, I'd gut him and leave him out to hang if I could. But he always manages to slink off to whatever hole he came from. I don't know what you want from him, but he's trouble. Yeah, my dealings with him haven't been so good either. But he has something that I need. Do you know where he might have went? Nope. But I may have an idea. He might be slippery, but I've seen him a few times hanging around that dam. Careful, though. Strange things happen that close to dark water. The dam? Dark water? I didn't want to seem like some idiot, so I waited to ask my friends later. That'll be 20 caps. Excuse me? I gave you information. That's just as valuable a commodity as a gun or food. 20 caps. Unless you want to pay us with your blood. Up to you. Oh, that pissed me off. Having to pay for words? They aren't even tangible. I wasn't sure if I should take out my caps or my gun. A paw on my shoulder stopped me from doing either. Don't mind her. She's had a few rough days, being the hero of hope and all. Why did Mark just... I saw the tension among the traders decrease dramatically. The two camels that had raised guns at me dropped them to their sides. Even the ewe had put her gun down on a nearby crate. Wait, you are that rabbit? You should have told us. Thank you. We were able to restore our normal trade routes between Bullswink and Hope. Not to mention having some more of Petunia's cooking. Best food in the waste. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Tell you what, that information on the house. Hell, I'll even toss you a discount too. Well, we need to get going, but thank you for your help. Funny how the mention of my deeds and hope turned them around. I wonder if other traders might do the same thing. A discount might not be a bad thing in a pinch. Sure thing, girl. Oh, and just so you know, I might be thankful for your services, but I still got a business to run. Discount only applies right now. Next time we meet, full price. And there's the greed again. Guess I can't get lucky all the time. Still, at least we didn't have to pay for information. We should get going, Olivia, if we want to find this guy before nightfall. We left to meet up with Onion and Drake. The entire way back, I couldn't help but think of the trader's reaction at finding out I was the one who saved Hope. I expected his residents to praise me, but not some random mammals that don't even live there. Hope must be a critical stop for many traders. Once we were far enough away from the trading camp, I needed some questions answered. I didn't want them thinking I was an idiot for asking this. But what were those places she told us about? The dam or Darkwater? Both. Well, I'm not sure about the dam. It's probably some kind of bar or hangout. But Darkwater? That's something everyone knows. Mark suddenly stopped when Holly elbowed him in the back. Who's been around here long enough to find out? You might know it from the history books as Tundra Town. Tundra Town? You mean the district full of ice and snow? Not anymore. During the war, something happened to rapidly melt all the ice, and became trapped in the district walls. It's a giant lake. No one dares venture in there. Besides having to scale a giant wall, and the water's said to have so much radiation that if you jump into it, you'll either be a ghoul or dead in seconds. There are also tales of creatures that live there. I don't know if the stories are true, but mammals make them out to be more dangerous than a deathwing. Then I'm guessing the dam must be near one of those Darkwater walls. Any of you know where it's at? No. We tend to stay far away from Darkwater as possible. Even being near those walls gives me the chills. I can't imagine anyone wanting to reside that close. Well, there's a first time for everything. If you want to turn back, I don't blame you. But I'm gonna go find that dam. And hopefully find North while I'm at it. If you don't, well, I'll keep asking. Plus, if this place is as seedy as you make it out to be, maybe someone else will have answers to my questions. Hell, maybe I'll even run into some legionaries. Cut out the middle mammal altogether. We made it back to where Onion and Drake were waiting. From the sound of it, this Darkwater place must have been that dangerous, because they were all torn between staying and going. Well, Mark and Holly were at least. Nate had already expressed his decision on the matter. As soon as Nate said that he wasn't leaving, they must have made up their minds. I don't think it was possible to separate those three, but I had the feeling that even if they all didn't want to go, they still would have. They must be just as stubborn as me. So, if there are no objections, let's head out. I could see the towering walls separating the two districts in the distance. No matter how long we traveled, it always seemed right out of our reach. We must have been on the outskirts of civilization due to all the buildings being far and few between. We left rather deep imprints in the sand, so you would think tracking someone would be easy. But the wind was constant enough to erase any tracks we made. This part of Sahara Square was very hilly. Large sand dunes blanketed the area, and the loose particulates made climbing some of them very difficult. Half the time one of us sunk into the dunes, and the other half we couldn't get enough footholds and started sliding down the side. Drake wanted to just fly us over, but I didn't want to risk being seen, so we trudged our way past them. We had just stopped at the top of a rather large sand dune to rest when I saw something shining in the distance. I grabbed the binoculars that Mark gave me, but regretted it instantly. I had forgotten that they were night vision, and I was trying to use them in broad daylight. I don't think I went blind, but it became very difficult to see. Did you just try and use those in the middle of the day? You did, didn't you? Ugh. I blinked a few times, trying to force my vision back. Just tell me what's out there. I saw something in the distance. I still couldn't see well, but at least I could hear what Marcus had to say. I don't see any... Oh, I see it. It's small, very small. I can't make it out, but whatever it is, someone's there. It's definitely a ghoul. Hard to make out any of the greater details here, but that ghoul keeps tossing something into the air and catching it, and that's what's making that reflection. Can you see what he's wearing? Not really. A raggedy shirt and some shorts. But they're both so faded it's hard to make out any details. We'll have to get closer. It's him. It's gotta be. Well, he is between us and the wall, so I guess it wouldn't hurt. Shall we go say hi? Not us. Me. He knows me, and I can use that to my advantage. If we all go down, he might feel threatened and run. He has the uncanny knack of disappearing. But just in case... Onion, come over here. Yes, miss. Remember that glowing ghoul when we fell into that sinkhole? That was a nasty one, miss. Remember how we... or should I say, you stopped it? You mean with the... Yes, now. I pulled it out and handed it to Onion. If I give the signal, you need to do the same thing to North, okay? But miss, you don't intend on... Don't worry, Onion, I know what I'm doing. Now, this next part you're not gonna like. Drake, there's something that Onion might need to do, but he'll need your help. I will. Whatever do you mean, miss? If I need Onion to act, can you fly him right over the ghoul down there and drop Onion onto him? I object, miss. I am not some kind of toy. It may not even come down to it, and I really hope I don't need to do this, but I need a backup plan. What exactly is the backup plan, Livy? It's... complicated. Just trust me on this. Now, the last 2 times I ran into him, he was alone, so it's a good chance he's alone now. But just in case, keep an eye on me, but stay out of sight. If I can get the information I need, I will let you guys know it's okay to come down. If not, well, you'll know either way. Wish me luck. Before they could even respond, I jumped off the side and slid down. My vision had thankfully returned. Otherwise, this short distance would have felt much longer. I made sure to move slowly. While I couldn't see that far, I could still see where he was. It was a rather open area except for what I thought was a tree until I got closer. Well, it was a palm tree, all right, but it was made of metal. I think it was some kind of lamp. They seemed to be scattered all over the place. He still didn't seem to notice me as I got close enough to make him out. It was him, all right. Despite the fact that I was looking at his back, I could tell it was North. The only question was, is it him or a hologram? From the sound of it, he was looking for hollow parts. So he may only have had the one. But there was only one way to be sure. I carefully took out my gun and popped the magazine out. Taking one of the bullets from it, I tossed it with all my might at the figure before me.
Ow! Oh, what the hell was that?
He was real. Perfect. Hey, asshole. Remember me?
Well, well. If it isn't Carrots, the hero of hope. Oh, sorry. I forgot you hated being called Carrots. Look, Olivia. I'm a rather busy ghoul at the moment, so if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, I would. I really would. You see, I have two problems. First, I just so happened to lose a couple of coins. Maybe you've seen them?
Like I told you, Carrots, I don't have them.
Then what's that in your paw? He stared at me for a moment longer before his face softened as he looked into his outstretched paw. He must have been doing it out of habit and not noticed. Because there he was, telling me that he had sold the coins, while casually flipping one in the air and catching it this whole time. He held it up and looked at it, as if lost in its image. It was the luck coin. I knew because I remembered the rabbit on the front of it. He looked as if he was considering it before clenching the coin in his paw.
No. No, I will not.
I had a feeling he wouldn't. Whatever force seemed to keep drawing me to them must be affecting him too. Maybe it was better to let him keep them. With my luck, they were probably cursed. Well, fine. There was one other thing.
What is it? Didn't I tell you I was busy?
He seemed agitated for some reason. The past 2 times he never seemed to falter in his smoothness, always moving a step ahead of me. This time, he seemed troubled. Maybe something happened. Or maybe it was just another trap to lure me out into a false sense of security. I don't think he would try to attack me, but the moment I took my eyes off him, he would probably disappear again. Last time we met, you said you know everybody. Is that true?
Look, sweetheart, I've been around for a very long time. Longer than you can probably imagine. So yes, I have come across just about everyone there is. So far you have been the only oddball in my travels. Destroyer of gangs, hero of hope. I've even heard rumors that you took out an entire nest of Deathwings just to save some stupid rabbit. I don't know if even half of that is true. But if they were, then you scare the hell out of me.
Was my reputation becoming that bad? Sure, this guy gave me nothing but grief since the first time we met. But to hear that he's scared of me? That was not the reaction I was looking for. I don't want to drive terror into other mammals. I just want to make the world a better place. Even if I was just giving some people hope. Hope. No. I can't let North's fear drive me away from my goal. The lives of too many mammals, innocent mammals who probably had to earn their living through their entire lives, be put at risk by some bastard who just steals and lies his way through everything. He may not be a raider, but he certainly wasn't my friend. If you're so scared of me, then why don't you just give me what I need and I'll be on my way? Where can I find the Legionaries? He might have had rotting flesh for a face, but I could tell that look anywhere. Shock and confusion.
You want to find who?
The Legionaries. Apparently someone hired them to find me, and I need to find them. Or rather, the one who hired them first.
No way, Carrots. Even if I did know where to find them, no one crosses the Legionaries. You stand between them and a target, you're as good as dead. I may be over 230 years old, but I don't want to die. Not like that.
I lifted my pip-boar. You tell me, or else you will regret it long before they find you.
What? You gonna shoot me, Carrots?
I forgot that I was still holding my gun. The magazine was still in my other paw. But I could use this. You have 10 seconds. 10. North started to back away from me.
You're supposed to be some kind of hero, but you're not acting very heroic.
9. I didn't need to wait till 10, but I needed to distract him. 8. I pushed the button on my pip-boar, disguising the action by loading the magazine into my gun. I had made sure to have a message, rather than a verbal command to Onion. I didn't want him to catch on to my plan. I slowly turned in order to face him back towards my friends. 7.
Carrots, please, don't do this. Here, you want the coins. You can have them.
I pulled back the hammer on the gun. 6. Despite what he told me moments ago, I was getting an odd pleasure from this. Maybe I really was insane. 5. I heard Drake's wings, but I think North was too worried about me to notice. He looked terrified.
You don't need to do this, Carrots. Olivia, you can't.
4. Just about now.
What?
North didn't have time to react before Drake dropped Onion onto him, just like I wanted him to. Onion didn't land on North, but rather floated next to him and performed his duties, just as swiftly as before. I pushed the button on my pip-boar, just as I heard the others catch up to me. Olivia, what the hell's going on? Is that... Mark knew what it was. They all did from their expressions. Olivia, what did you... I knew he saw it. They all did. That little green light. They all stood there, faces expressing shock, confusion, and even horror at the fact that I had just ordered Onion to put a slave collar around North's neck. With my finger on the button, I looked at North, and spoke as calmly as ever, knowing this was my only chance for answers. Tell me where to find the Legionaries, or else.